Hi, I'm Sol Campbell, and you're listening to Highbury and Heels.
Hello and welcome to Highbury and Heels. I'm your host Sophia, and after a few weeks where some of us have been missing, I'm glad to say that the Fantastic Four are back in the building. I'm going to come to you, Seema, first, as you had a pretty special week, didn't you?
Yeah, it was my birthday, and we finally won on my birthday. It's been a while. Every single year we keep losing, and mostly against Bayern Munich, so that was nice.
And what about you, Sophie? How was your week?
Epic. Every day's a good day in La La Land. Sun shining, ocean is breezy, all good over here.
And Amanda, how was yours?
Yeah, loads of sun and beach. Oh, sorry, that's LA, isn't it? Grey rain. But we won, so that's all great. Well, yeah, good week.
It's always good when the Arsenal win, isn't it, ladies?
Always.
So, today we have a very special guest on the pod. He began his career at West Ham before joining Tottenham, where he captained our rivals to a League Cup final victory. After 9 years at Spurs, he made the controversial, but in our opinion, correct move to Arsenal, where he did the double in 2002, was an integral part of the Invincibles in 2004, and won the FA Cup in 2005. He went on to win another FA Cup medal with Portsmouth, and even made a brief return to the Gunners before ending his career with Newcastle in 2011. Capped 73 times for England, he's the only player to have represented his country in 6 consecutive major tournaments and was named into the 2002 FIFA World Cup All-Star team. One of the greatest defenders to ever wear the Arsenal shirt, Highbury and Heels are delighted to welcome the legend that is Sol Campbell.
Woo! Hi. I just want to kind of clarify and correct. I've won 4 FA Cups.
Oh!
Yeah. Because how I look at it is this.
Okay, go.
If you play one game in the FA Cup for your team and you don't play in the final, you are still an FA Cup winner. In my eyes.
Okay, fair enough. So you've won 4 FA Cups. Thanks for the...
Yeah, because the other one I played up to the semi-final and I got sent off. I think it was a bit dodgy against Man United. Ollie Solskjaer, they call him the, assassin, babyface assassin. They're not calling him that for no reason. And that was the reason why I missed the FA Cup and I missed the last three games of that season.
But you still got your
Leeds for the final game.
That little bugger.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So, on Thursday, Sol, we played Östersund in the Europa League. We won 3-0, pretty much guaranteeing our progression to the round of 16. But personally, I didn't think this victory was convincing as the score suggests. At times, there were gaping holes in our defence, and we have a former central defender as our assistant manager, but it doesn't seem like we're being coached defensively. Why do you think our defence is so all over the place, as a former defender yourself?
I think when I look at how Arsenal are playing, and I look back at football generally, when Arsenal came into the club, inherited a fantastic backline and goalkeeper and a great spirit in the camp, and there's spirit there now. But it was a different type of football, and there were guys who wanted to defend, and they were kind of well drilled, and a lot of teams up and down the country and around the world were really versed in that, and some obviously did it better than others. But Arsenal was formidable, and they really had a fantastic, everyone says the back five. I called, Martin Keough should be in there as well. He was an integral part of that team. And then me coming along afterwards kind of continued that. And I just don't think, for me, I just don't think it kind of exists. I was watching a game recently. It was Arsenal versus Manchester United away. Overmars scored, and it was just like I just watched the game. And as I was watching the game, I was sitting back at home. I said, "It's like a movie." It was like a movie to me. I said, and for me, what I'm saying is that I saw passion. I saw Andy Cole trying to muscle in and get a goal, but then I saw Martin Keown trying to say same thing again. You're not going to get that. That kind of every part of their body was just trying to score or was trying to stop the other person from scoring. And the mixture was skill, was pace, was experience, was youth. Had everything. And I said to myself, I don't see that anymore. That's extinct.
Right.
I was watching it's extinct. I don't see that anymore.
But
and
why do you think
see it? It's like, wow, God, real defending. It's just that whole kind of quick speed, skill, strength, different sized people playing at a high level, thinking at a high level. I watched it. I said tackles. I said I don't see that anymore. It's extinct.
Why do you think why do you think it's extinct? Why can't we get that kind of play that we used to get on a regular basis back in the day? Why don't we get that now?
I think it's a different type of player now.
Right.
That plays football. And when a player does pop up, a good defender, it's like gold dust now. It's gold dust. It's gold dust. 75 million, it's gold dust. It's like when I grew up, when I was growing up, there were like 20 players like that in the league and another 30, 40 across Europe. Mm. And then another, 20 in South America like that. So it's just reduced big time.
So
I think the players are different now. I think they're thinking in a different way. And I think it's just life. Sometimes that evolution. Even though I think you still to win things, you need a really good defense. I know some teams and some managers are now just doing more possession play. We hold the ball longer, then we don't get exposed to the back line.
Okay, Sol. So you mentioned Arsene Wenger before. What would you say is the biggest difference between the manager then and what you see now with him?
I just think, obviously, age-wise, he's more experienced now. He probably looks at football and life in a totally different way. Who stays the same, a year ago? Everyone evolves and changes, and I think he just looks at football in a totally different way now.
But I don't agree with you, so I think he still looks at it the same way, and that's the problem, I feel.
Well, no, because when you look at it, when he inherited the team coming in and took the team on on a different level with the training ground and the new also following this new stadium, but the players and the philosophy and things like that, he inherited it. Then a few more players came along, and I think he's changed in the sense that maybe those players are just not readily around anymore, or maybe they just cost too much, more money than he wants to pay to buy them in now.
Mm. So let's look at this a different way then, because there are managers that have been really successful and they've evolved. Some have regressed. I spent some time with Pep Guardiola in Manchester City last summer, and you could tell that when they were here on pre-season, there was an intensity to them, a little bit like what you were telling us at the beginning of even in training, they were getting stuck in, players showing this kind of passion and stuff. How does Pep go from winning nothing in his first season in the Premier League? Yes, they've spent a ton of money, but you got to pull all that together and manage a team of world beaters in his second, only having lost one game. How does a manager transform a team like that? And Arsenal was still waiting for the once great manager, Wenger, to do the same.
I think you do have to go back to money. I really do, because they had a goalkeeper, and then they've said, this is not the one. Let's change him and get an even better keeper. I mean, the back line is hitting 200, 250. 200 million. I mean, they can do that. No, not many people can do that. And you're buying players, filling them in and then putting players on the bench and things like that. Yes, you still have to pull it together. But then he started, if you've got that kind of money to buy players, make a mistake, then change it with big, even even more money to get someone else in to do the job, that's a big help. There's not many clubs can do that. Maybe Man United, if they really want to do, they could do that with the amount of sponsorship they get. But it does. You can't discount it. Yes, you've got to pull it together, make sure there's a lot of egos and things like that. But he's had his first year. Don't tell me he just missed out on a few things. He's not way off, and he's looked at it this year. He's probably took a bloody nose, and he's realised what English football's all about, a Premiership, and he's learnt from it. He said, "You know what? That year I can't play the same way like I played at say Barcelona. I think I got to maybe mix up a little bit and find the right balance to get that Barcelona type of football, but in a that kind of a touch of English and awareness of like some things you just can't do in certain positions in the English Premier League and get away with it. You've got to find the right time to do it, and he's found the right balance when to do it and when not to do it, and found players who understand that very quickly.
Okay, so that's a key word, and I'm so happy you brought up that point. Balance, right? So important. Why is it we balance the forward line so well, and we can all see that we need a couple of defenders and we need reinforcements at the back? We go by a young kid like Mavropanos, who I'm sure will be good in time, but we never go by ready-made players, and the defence has been our weakest point. Sometimes I say, so if our defence was as good as our attack, can you imagine how good we'd be? Why can't he see that we need reinforcements to find that balance?
I think sometimes, when he was selling a few defenders, I thought he was actually pulling some money together to maybe go for Van Dijk. I know it's a lot of money, but he sold a couple of players. I thought, he might be trying to put some money together to get him. I think Van Dijk would have done really well at Arsenal. I think that would have been, a starting kind of position to get a guy in to kind of really command the back line, and then maybe some of the other players can. I know he's still learning, but I think he could be definitely one for the future. So I think now it's all about where'd you go. I don't think in his mind he can spend 50 million on a defender. I think he probably thinks defenders are not worth more than 50 million or whatever. I mean, that's in his head. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where some of the best ones, or potentially the best ones, are priced at now. Mm-hmm. 45, 50 plus million defenders. Mm-hmm. So he's not. I don't think in his head he's just got over trying to spend 45, 50 million for a forward line player or midfielder. He's not going to think, I'm going to spend 45, 50, 55, 60 for a defender. I don't think he's at that level yet. I don't think he feels I don't need to spend that type of money. But sometimes you do. So I think it's just more him kind of getting accustomed. I think with Arsene, over the years, I think when he first started, he had the whole kind of French market. No one was really looking in there. That's why you could find the Nelkas for $500,000 and things like that. And these players, top players, and kind of through his contacts now everyone's in France and everyone's in Belgium. Everyone's in there now, looking all over the place. And it's a harder landscape to kind of unearth. So you unearth a player, but then there's another 3 people waiting that might going to outbid you for, a budding 18-year-old or a 20-year-old or whatever. So the market, I think with his head, it took a long time for him to realize, a punt when he first started, $500,000. Now a punt could be 10 million now. Yeah. It's nuts. A punt could be 13, 14, 15 million in his head. So for me, a punt in some other player in other teams is 25 million. Yeah. So I think it's a more mental thing to kind of realize the landscape has changed.
I mean, you just said the landscape has changed, and if you look at the Arsenal backroom, what do you make of it now? Because I remember reading somewhere recently that you were a bit vocal when Per Mertesacker was appointed academy manager. Is that true? And why was that?
No, I'm not against that. How I see it is this: is that it's all well, he's academy manager, and hopefully he'll be there for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I hope that's the case. Because you want someone who's going to be there for a long, long time to bring all the new players through, all the youngsters, and control that. So hopefully he doesn't get another offer in Germany and say, well, forget Arsenal, and why don't you come over to do the same thing in Germany? I know you can't stop anybody, but hopefully that's the reason why he wants to stay. He wants to stay. He wants to build up Arsenal and grow from there. Hopefully that's the case. Please God. I think with the other situation, I just feel that when I look at, say, Liverpool, when I look at Man United, okay, Man United is a little bit changed now for the new management, but when I look at some of the other teams, when I look at Ajax, when I look at all these other teams across Europe, how they're bringing back some of the old players who've done really well for them and bring their expertise and help them on their quest to say, look, stay here, or maybe 2-3 years, kind of, get some nice offers and then maybe move on to something else to kind of, move their career on. But helping players to give them a balance, give them something back to, especially the ones who want to coach or manage in the future, give them a platform. It's so difficult to get a job out there that, even some of the top players who've done really well can't find a job. So, there's other teams like Ajax all day long. In you come. You can train here. Yeah, give you a job, work, under 18s, under 14s, under 12s, first team, whatever. In you come. No questions. You've done unbelievable for us. Get in. I know your knowledge. I want you in here. I want that passion. I want you kind of see how far you can grow.
Yeah.
As a manager or a coach. Because you've done unbelievable for us.
Speaking of players, and just to shift gears just a little bit, because we want to talk to you about managerial stuff a bit later on. From your perspective, Sol, there's been a lot of incidents of current and ex-players being abused by Arsenal fans right now, and we talk about kind of doing things to help the team. What's your opinion on all of that, and have you experienced it?
In what sense? What do you mean? In what sense?
Well, in the sense that, let's take, for example, Hector Bellerin and what happened with his Oxford Union talk. He mentioned, he was asked a question about Arsenal Fan TV, and, he got absolute terrible abuse for it. Lacazette misses those 2 chances against Tottenham in the North London derby, and fans start burning his shirt, and he gets absolutely killed on social media. And a lot of journalists like John Cross have come out and said that we are some of the worst fan base in how we treat our players and the way we speak to them and interact with them on social media. What's your thought on that, and have you experienced it yourself?
I think everyone's experienced it. Doesn't make it nice. But I think it's all about, again, balance, about knowing when to kind of do things and when not to do things. I'm not stopping people. I've been to Oxford Union, a couple of times and spoken there. It's a lovely thing to do, but it depends on what you say whilst you're there. I think the Arsenal fans are just really frustrated. It's a bit, I think Arsenal fans are. I don't think the reason for Lacazette or Bellerin getting grief. I think it's a build-up. It's a build-up.
Yeah.
It's a build-up. It's not like it's 1 year. I think it's a build-up over the last 10 years.
Definitely.
And I think it's just frustration. Frustration. It's frustration.
Yeah, agree with that.
So, if we would have had social media back when you played with Wenger in the years that you were with us, how would the team have reacted? How would you have dealt with what Hector has dealt with now? Obviously, we didn't have anything back then.
No, but I was, for me, some of the players were, there's always radio. So I think radio was quite very amplified, and people used that big time to vent some of their anger.
I've been on the radio a couple of times. Sorry, I've been on the radio venting. Go on.
Yeah, but also I think with when you look at, say, the papers back in those days before the Leveson inquiry, things like that, I think they were just really very loose on what they could say, and there was like no one putting them kind of, well, you stepped over the line there. They were running their mouths off all day long and could write anything. I think the Leveson case has kind of realigned them and make them kind of a bit more responsible. So we had it on the other side. What they used to get away with on the papers was just disgusting, what they used to say. So we had it in another way. So you've got the paper, then you've got millions of people reading the paper. And then you get 2-3 journalists and big journalists in different papers, so they can like almost gang up together and say, right, you do this, you do the south, you do there, we just divvy it up, and then it's like, right, there's 3 million people reading about it.
Yeah. Sol, one of the things that I've respected about you is that you've never been afraid to vocalize your thoughts, and not only your thoughts on football, but kind of love your mindset when it comes to social issues, but also kind of, state of the country or London. There's things that you are unafraid to kind of talk about. And I think when Hector Bellerin was
I've been shot too many times. I'm not gonna talk anymore, because the first one comes out, you get shot or nuked. You get nuked.
Don't worry, you won't get nuked here.
You've got to keep talking though, because I wondered what you thought. Because in America here, it's the temperature right now in the room is hot, to say the least, on a lot of subjects. And a news commentator came out the other day and said, in response to something LeBron James said, just shut up and dribble. And I'm just wondering if someone of influence in the UK had said that to you at the time when you were a football player. I think sometimes football players get a hard time because, you're humans too, and you have opinions and thoughts. Do you think players should play it safe these days and stick to sports and not be so vocal about issues? And then some issues, though, that are so important don't get as much PR or press because key influencers like you, wouldn't be talking about it.
It's sad to say. I think that character is gone. I don't think it exists anymore.
Do you think
so many people do. I think the environment has, people worried about, how many Twitter followers I'm getting, or how many Instagram followers, or am I going to get another, not football contract, another kind of, boot contract, or whatever contract, drink contract, who knows. If I say something a bit out of turn, I might not get that. They might think you're a bit too kind of, off-piste. I think, people now, environment, just as I said about defenders, the real grit and things like that, the real grit with skill, that is gone now. I hope it's not gone. I hope it's there. Just different coaches have to find it, and managers have to unearth these players and bring them together. Hopefully, who knows? I do think, hopefully, that's the case. But I do think that kind of, I don't want to cross the line now because, it makes me look bad, has gone. But I still think it exists in America. I think because maybe the volume of people isn't there. I think maybe the environment demands that there are the quiet ones, but there's enough people around to say, no, I'll stand up. I don't think that exists. I don't think anyone wants to stand up in English football anymore. I think everyone's too quiet. I think it's been taken over by the FA. I'm not the FA. I mean, the government has got involved in a few things with the FA, blah, blah, blah. I don't hear anyone, ex-players or players within, saying anything anymore. It's not just that it exists anymore. People don't want to know. People are just worried about paycheck or sponsors and things like that. I'm afraid to say there was a lot more. As I said, I don't know. It's just a change. It's just cycle of the UK. It still exists in America because I think it's just the environment demands it. If you don't talk, you just get chewed up and spat out. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. And it is. You can almost get away with 10, 15 years career here and not say anything. Just play football and not say anything. I don't know. Maybe they look at people who have said something in the past and they're being kind of vilified and they can't get a job anymore because they're outspoken in the UK. But in America, I think you can say that, and I think there's still a market who will still, I want you because there's a lot of people who think like you. Come in. I think in the UK it's just too kind of down the middle all the time. Yeah. It's got that way.
Yeah, definitely.
And you don't have to be controversial to go off-piece. I mean, literally, people are literally just being in the middle. And that middle is massive now. So it used to be kind of, small and squeeze yourself in there. It's huge. I think it's huge. And then the bit outside is really tiny, and no one wants to step out there anymore.
Okay, so Sol, we've talked about politics, we've talked about current Arsenal. Now we want to go back to when you joined our club in 2001. You won the double in your first season. When did it dawn on you that you were part of a very special squad? Was there a particular moment that stood out for you in training, on the pitch?
As soon as I signed, I knew I was in a quality club. quality players, because I knew some of the players. I used to, casually sometimes meet them out and hang out with them sometimes. Not hang out, but just like in the same area. So, and in North London, North West London, it was fine. And obviously England as well, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I knew I was going into something quality. I knew I was going to something special, There's some special guys there playing at that time. Really were, And even if you didn't speak to them all the time, you just knew they wanted to win. They wanted to win even like a little kind of piggy in the middle. They don't want to go in the middle. They want to keep the person in the middle in all the time. Even little things. They wanted to win in a sporting way, not in a nasty way, in a sporting way.
Okay, Sol. So let's go to 2002. We head off to Cardiff before the end of the season, which is the first time the FA Cup's ever been played, I think, before the end of the season. And obviously it was the famous stars behind that goal when Ray Parlour did what Ray Parlour did, and then Freddie did what he did. Yeah. So how much did winning that game against Chelsea contribute to the belief that you could go on and do the double?
I think it's quite funny, leading up to that game. It's a massive game, and within the game you feel some lulls in the game. You think, oh, it's hard, it's easy. It's quite strange, really. But for me, winning that game, there was so much belief. Because Chelsea, top side. And also, that was probably the first time, I've beaten before, but that season was the first time I've actually won a few times against Chelsea. I've never, when I was Tottenham, that never really happened. A couple of draws, but never any wins. And, it's amazing how different teams bring different fortune to individuals. So for me, that was such a special game, tough game at the time because there's top players all over the pitch. But it was exciting, it was lovely and things like that. But afterwards, it's quite funny. You play Man United to obviously get the double. And I remember once I was in a department store. I'm not going to say which department store I was in the department store, and someone saw me. Someone saw me and said, "Oh yeah, okay, they won the FA Cup. Well, they're going to get roasted when they get to Man United. Yeah, Van Nistelrooy's going to do them that. Blah blah blah." And it's quite funny. It's like, you get that. I get like really angry. It's like, oh yeah, well, man, I'll bloody show him. I'll show you. I'll crack on. I'll keep on going. I'm fresh. I'll get ready again. I'm not being on the piss. I'll be ready, mate. I've done it professionally. And so that's what. Trouble is, good thing we had a lot of guys like that. Really angry gentlemen. Angry gentlemen, very skillful at their jobs. It was great. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So talking of that game at Old Trafford, I remember I couldn't watch at the time because I was doing a race for life. So I had to listen on the radio and getting updates from my Gooner mates. For me, it was absolute torture. What was the day and the match like for you?
I think the day for me was like, it's a top game anyway. Man United versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Man United. It's a top game anyway. So it's at the level, only a few people can kind of get to and play well in that game. And obviously the TV, the media, everything around it was massive because we could win it. We could do it there. We could do it there, So obviously there's a bit of nerves in there. There's excitement, anticipation. There's kind of what's going to happen. All that mixed in. And you need to just take all that and to suck it all in and almost allow it to kind of not almost be your friend, but be accustomed to it. Because once you get to the pitch, if that is still swirling around you, you're just not going to function. You're not going to function. You need to be, your wits about you. You need to be on it. And everyone was on it. It was a very tactical game, very tough game as well, very tight game. And that's what you've got to do, that kind of steely kind of, mentally, strong and toughen it out in moments. And we did. And, Wiltord, tucked it away very,
did the job.
Fantastic. And it made the difference. And, but the thing is, I remember in the game, baby-faced assassin. Ollie came round. It was 1-0. I think it was don't know, last 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And the ball went loose on the edge of the D. I said, you're not getting this, mate. You're not getting through here. So unluckily, my pad went to the side of my leg. And I've obviously took the ball and cleared it out. And he didn't go for the ball. He went for my shin.
Oh,
and so I had a massive, huge kind of, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters deep gouge in my shin because for some reason my shin pad went down the side, and when you get to that kind of level, the skin's white. It's like almost like
burn.
I'm not trying to gore you too much, but it's like white. It's like and almost like after that you go to the bone.
Yeah.
So it was massive. So I had to play like 5-10 minutes with that massive gouge in my leg for 10 minutes to see it out. And then after, I couldn't join. I had to go in and get stitched up because all the guys ran to the corner. I couldn't. I had to get stitched up.
Oh.
So, but it's great. That's what those are the things you remember to kind of, well, I don't really want to remember the gouge in my shin, but that type of environment and winning in that environment. And it doesn't come all the time because you don't always win in those environments. Sometimes you lose. And but for us, thank God, we're on the good side of that, and we won. It was a great feeling, and we won the league there. So it was great.
Well, speaking about winning, we have a habit of winning the title at our biggest rival grounds. How did you celebrate at Old Trafford?
I was getting stitched up. I was getting stitched up, and I had to go in. I was getting stitched up.
So you couldn't celebrate at all.
No, I was getting stitched up, and then they came back out, and I came after. Yeah, it was massive, huge. It was like at least 3-4 centimeters deep, and it was about 10 centimeters kind of in length. It was massive. I had to get stitched up. Yeah, I had to get stitched up. It was killing me after a while.
Aww. Well,
I enjoyed it in the room. I stitched up, and then back in the changing room, it was great. But all the lads, I had to go in because it was just,
it's painful.
Blood was coming out, so I had to get stitched up. Yeah.
Oh, sounds painful. Okay, so
it was.
Moving on from that, you failed to retain the title the following year, but we still managed to win the FA Cup with a 1-0 win over Southampton.
That's when I got sent off. That's the reason why I got sent off. I missed the last 4 games.
That's why we lost the title. Because you got sent off.
Definitely against Leeds. We should have. If we'd have beat Leeds, we'd have kept it going.
Yeah, no, don't. I remember all this. Oh dear, it's terrible. It wasn't a disappointing season because obviously we won a trophy, but did losing the title? Yeah, but did losing the title spur the team on for what we achieved in 2003, 2004?
Yeah, obviously sometimes I remember the season before we won it. Patrick was really adamant like we need to win it like back to back. I don't think Arsenal we won it back to back. No, I don't think so. Leagues. Have they won back-to-back leads? I don't know. Don't think so. And he was really adamant, and then obviously it didn't happen. So obviously the next season you are up for it, and you naturally kind of, back into, as I said, the anger pushes you on, the anger, the kind of missing out, and then obviously me going to England, some of the lads, lads jumping up and down, and they've won, and blah blah blah, that kind of just naturally kind of a sportsman-like. I'm coming back next year. That kind of really kind of, not aggressive like in a bad way, but just like really that fire in your belly, like, I'm going to come back next year even stronger, and I'm going to do it. And we had that, hopefully that exists at Arsenal now. I don't know, who knows, but for us it existed, and we were stronger, we were ready, and that's what it's all about. That's how it should be. You lose it 1 year, you want to get back in there, try to win it again, or try your best to win it again. Even if you get second or third, you don't put the league out until the last, say, 3-4 games. You're really gunning for it for the last, 2-3 games, not out of it within 15 games to go.
Okay, so we've discussed that, and we've discussed the fact that why do you think that 2003 and 04 was so different then, and why did things come together the way they did?
I think, you've got a great bunch of lads there who are, and all the new players that came in benefited as well. But you had experience, you had youth, But the main thing is that the desire by everyone, and everyone pushing everyone on, from training, how you conducted yourself. Yeah, you still could have some fun and things like that. But, there was a lot of serious guys there, serious about football, not just serious, whilst there, serious off the field as well about football. And yes, they had fun when the right time allowed it, but they were, sleeping, eating, drinking football all the time, and not, and even if they were doing some promotions, that's part of football, that's okay. But when they're on it, they're back on it, and nothing was kind of, distracting them. And that's what you want. You want a team that can handle the glamour that surrounds football, but then they're on it. They can separate it and say, this is my job. I've got 10, 15 years. I might even have 5, 6 years at this top club. I'm going to go for it. And you had a lot of those people, and most of them have been at top clubs for 15, 20 years, and they still had that kind of desire. So when we got together and we, tried to go for the Premier League or Premiership then, we had a lot of everyone on the same boat. There's not one boat and there's another 2, 3 boats of people who were in a different kind of mindset. Everyone was on that boat to say, right, let's go for it.
So it was a fantastic season, but there was that dreaded week when everything almost went wrong. We lost to Man U in the FA Cup and then to Chelsea in the Champions League. Me personally, I think that season we were the best team in Europe and we should have gone on to win the Champions League. How the hell did we lose to Chelsea? Why do you think we lost to Chelsea?
Well, one thing is, Makelele, never shoots. He shoots from outside the box. And it comes, and it's not a hard, well, yeah, great player, but it wasn't a hard shot at all. And it came out and obviously Frank Lampard changed the game, and then obviously at the end, you got what's his name from the left back?
Wayne Bridge.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh, come on.
So when that happened, I think with Makelele, shooting, I thought, how did that come out of Jan's hands? And because it was like a routine save, and then obviously Lampard came to bang it in, and the whole thing just changed. And that's the difference, that you need a little bit of luck in the vital moments, and we just didn't have that. Against Man United, I remember someone shot, and then Lundberg and Carlo Torre got in each other's way on the goal line, and all it needed is one person step out of the way and head the ball, and they both got in each other's way, and then it got cleared. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had majority of the game, and then obviously Scholes scored the goal, but we had chances to kind of turn around the game, and then sometimes it just happens that way. And it was tough for us. It was tough, because you can see it all slipping away. But I think with people like Thierry up front, you always got a chance to kind of turn it around, and the mentality of the players turned it around. But it was tough. It was a really tough week. It could have just ended up as a disaster, complete disaster. But obviously, the Champions League, it's tough because we had a fantastic team. We could have done it there. We looked at, for the semi-final and final, we could easily have gone all the way. For me, sometimes I look at it. Obviously that was home, but other games when we played away, I think with losing Dennis Bergkamp away games, I think Arsenal would have won the Champions League way before that.
Right.
Because some of the long distance, we just needed that quality, and Dennis had, that sheer quality. But sometimes it was too far. He couldn't play, and I think we really, not having him to kind of, for his, amazing play, amazing kind of strength and scoring ability, or putting someone in, conjuring something out of nothing. We did miss that quality. Really did.
Wow. It's so true. And he was the best ever for me anyway, to ever play in the Premier League. There's one thing that happened though, and I would love to know exactly what was in your mind. Winning the league at White Hart Lane. Did it get any sweeter than that, Sol? I love the giggle. Get in there.
I'm not calling it redemption. I'm not, saying, I'm vindicated. It's, it was everything really, that game, because I think a lot of emotion and a lot of, the anguish, the training days, the ups and downs, and to get to that level and win there, well, it's probably so special for Arsenal fans, and for me, it just felt like this is what I've been waiting for. Not to win at Tottenham, but this is what it's all about. Big game. We could do it here at one of our rivals in football. And it's so special. It really is. You just can't kind of describe the feeling that, you win today or don't lose today. The title's yours. And obviously there's more history attached there. And one part of the section was just loving it. Obviously the rest they've probably all gone home, 10 minutes to go. And, for me, you never forget, I'm never going to forget, not lose. Well, we should have won. I really, turned on Jens Lehmann for just reacting to Robbie Keane and for a stupid kind of, he put his couple of studs in his toe and he pushed him and he kind of give it too much and then gave a penalty. And I was thinking, come on, just take that in your toes and just move on. And actually, I really wanted to win, but I had to, settle with a draw. But it's a special moment because it doesn't come round. Some people win leagues and they're just at a middle of the table team and that's it and they've won it and it's great. But when you obviously add a bit more spice to it, with Manchester United and Spurs and things like that, it's like it's almost like it's like a movie. It's like, wow, how can we do? We can't even write this.
Yeah.
And that's what special moments in football and those are the things that you're always going to remember. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But if within your career or in your life, if you can remember some of those special moments that looking at other people doesn't really happen all the time, and then you realize, and then when you get to that stage, and then obviously after, say 5, 10, 15, 20 years after, then you realize how special it is because you look at past experiences of teams winning, and some of them are just winning, as I said, just winning in like middle of the table, and they've won and things like that, or they don't need to win, and the other team lost who's in second, and they've won, and they're sitting at home. I think it just adds a lovely kind of, another level to winning that, and the importance of it, and the ground you win it at is very important because that really sticks in your mind as well.
And for the fans, it's probably, girls, would you agree, Gooner Nation? You gave us our finest moment as Arsenal fans, Sol. And to know you've done that and that you're in our souls forever and ever, unbelievable experience as a football fan. Just brilliant.
Well, it needs to happen again because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it does.
I agree on that.
It's nice to win FA Cups, but I think a good challenge of the Premier League is definitely needs to happen pretty soon.
Okay, so moving on from your club career to your England career, you've been made captain at pretty much every team you've played for. What was it like captaining England, and how did you find out from Glenn Hoddle that you were being made captain?
I think he named it on the day.
Oh wow! So you didn't know beforehand?
Yeah, I didn't know in beforehand. He just named it on the day, and of course it's a special kind of moment for anyone. I just wish it happened a few more times.
Why do you think it didn't? Why do you think it didn't?
That's more that's more politics. I don't want to. I think going back to politics again.
Because I do.
I think for me that situation has been exposed now, and I think hopefully that will organise itself in the future, or maybe won't organise in the future. Maybe just be the status quo. But it's life. Some people have their own views, who wants to be captain or who they like to be vice captain. Obviously, I went from one of the best to the best for 3-4 years, and I went from being kind of close to captain to vice captain to no captain, and my football career went up several levels, and me acted captain in my country even when some of the players weren't there. It was never near me. So, which is, I don't know. It's a hard thing to take, but I'll take the 3 times I was captain, and it's a special and it's an honour to captain your country, for sure. Especially a kid from Plaistow, Stratford, East London.
So you said I really want to ask this question because as a black person, in your autobiography, you said that you believe that if you were white, you would have been captain longer. Do you stick by that comment?
I think back then, yes, yeah.
But you don't feel that way now? You don't feel that way now?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of... I think the main thing now is things have been exposed. And there's the shadows are smaller now, and so not so many people can hide in the shadows or how they think now. So there's a lot more light being shone over what the FA and how they've been running for 100-year plus, and their systems and how they choose the committees. I think there's far too committees in this country. I think that has to be reduced, like Parliament, reduce the seats in the Lords and things like that. I think the same thing has to happen with football as well. The FA, it has to be reduced. You still have 40, 50, 60, 70. I think there's even 80 plus person still wielding power in the committees. I mean, the mentality is from the 1950s and 60s. So, and then also the way it's structured, you can be 20 years, you can be a committee member, then you can be an executive committee member, and then you can choose who takes your place. I mean, it's like, what is this? It's like a circle that never breaks. You just pick someone who's younger but thinks like you. So that whole system has been exposed through the Guardian, do some articles on it, and I think that the shadows have been reduced. The shadows where people can hide, but there's still some shadows in there. But I think the main thing is now people are talking about it, and that's the main thing. And the government's got involved. I don't know how far they're going to go. The FA has responded; they want to help, and it's not only that. Even you go to the abuse, sexual abuse of some of the kids who are now men and things like that in football. That was handled so bad. They had no one with real heart and tenderness and authoritative kind of way of talking, but soft at the same time and understand. There's no one in their ranks to kind of look after that. See, that's when if you haven't got diversity within your midst, under your umbrella, you can't. If you have got that, you can just dip in and say, look, you're a great guy, you're a great woman, blah blah blah. You're black origin or Chinese or Indian or white or whatever. Look, I know how you are. Can you come and help us on that? They had no one. They couldn't. When they dipped in, there was just everyone's the same. That's why you need diversity. And that's I hope that changes and people understand. So it's not only the black and white thing or captaincy, but it's the other subjects. They need to you need to have different people in those positions so things don't get missed.
True.
100%.
100%.
Really is what you're saying. So you represented England for 11 years and played in 6 consecutive tournaments.
And I had a break. I had a 4-year break. And it hurts me now. What is wrong with them? No, 6 years. And then they brought me back because the shit hit the fan. And like, let's bring Sol in. He's playing well at Portsmouth. Get him in. You know, I play because I love my country. You know, but you stick me in the wilderness, like the Italians stick me in the wilderness, and then, you know, oh my God, I could have had over 100 caps.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So how would you describe it then? All right, so that's probably your worst moment.
What, the wilderness? The wilderness or playing for England?
Both. What's your best memories of it? What was your favourite time?
You know, I think the first one, when I was in Euro 96 and came on for James Redknapp in midfield against Scotland, that was great, and we nearly won it. I think I didn't realise how, you know, sometimes when you're a youngster, say, oh, you're going to get another chance at this, but you don't get another chance, really. You know, some players are very lucky in the right team in the right moment, and they get 2-3 chances at finals or semi-finals or possibilities of winning. You know, and you don't realise how close you are. You know, that could have been, we're so close. You know, Gascoigne, another 20 centimetres taller, that's in, and we're in the final against Germany. So, you know, that was a really special time to be involved in. For me, if you don't win it, it's nice to take part. If you don't win it or get, say, to the final, I don't know how it can be enjoyable. You can enjoy the 3 games and score loads of goals and be amazing and get a new deal somewhere. But, you know, when you look at it, you know, and I'm just looking at it pragmatically and looking at just face value, I think you only really enjoy it if you maybe get to the final or get to the semi-final or whatever, you know, or you win it, or, you know, for me, it's all about getting there and the possibility of winning. I don't know how I can enjoy it if I, you know, win 3 games or win 2 and lose 1 or whatever and get knocked out in the 4th round. It's not enjoyable, because when you come home, yeah, everyone's said, oh, you've done well, but you've been knocked out and you haven't got to the semi-finals. So I don't know how you can enjoy yourself, really. You can enjoy yourself, you know, game-wise and scoring goals, and it's great for me to score a goal against Sweden in the World Cup, and that was fantastic. But, you know, I want to win, you know, because I know those chances, you know, I've played 6 times and been involved in 6 times in major competitions for my country. And, you know, other than, you know, referees giving decisions, we could got to the semi-final or quarterfinals, won the World Cup against Argentina. Another one I did, headed and scored against Portugal. That would have taken us to the semi-finals of the European Cup, you know. And then you look at other teams, other countries, when, you know, a few people hustle and bustle with a keeper and they score, and it's like saying, well, that's exactly what happened to me. So, you know, why don't you blow up? I honestly still think if it was Argentina scoring my goal against in 98, and you know, maybe Portuguese beating us in the Euros, I think it's blow the whistle, centre circle, 5 minutes, the game's done. I really do. I still believe that back in those days. And when you look at what FIFA and even, you know, UEFA, what has happened, you know, and how it's all been, how it has all come out with all the corruption, you start saying to yourself, why would corruption stop there? Why would corruption? Why would not corruption, you know, go further onto the pitch, or maybe referees, or what's happening around them? Say, look, if they don't score a clean goal, don't give it. Yeah, why would it just stop there? Why would corruption just stop there at the business level? Why would it? You know, they you know, it's come out. They absolutely hated England.
Yeah,
hated England. So why would it stop just at the business level?
Yeah, even the Lampard goal, right? Right, Sol?
Yeah, well over the line. Okay, we haven't got VAR now, but I'm saying, why would it just stop there?
And it didn't, and now
the question starts.
Are you for or against VAR? We always have this discussion. We have a ref on who talks about it.
I'm for it, but I think if you're spending that type of money, it should be digitized with whoever's looking at it. It should be digitized with the lines and things like that. You shouldn't be drawing on the lines. It should be all digitized. You know, they should have cameras all the sides so they can, referee can just go, or whoever's assessing it, just press a button, line goes straight and the right angle from the actual side of the line on the pitch and the angle, and they have a complete line and you can see exactly. So you don't have to always rely on the eye. It's done digitized.
Yeah. And do you think that the fans should get to see it as well?
I think that's the way it has to go. Because at the moment you're still relying on a human being to kind of say yeah or no. Nay. I know you need that. You need that. But I think to help the assessor, it should be digitized. So that improves his job and also quickens. That's probably more money software. I don't know. Who knows?
Can I just ask something, Sol? We're talking about VAR just very quickly, and we haven't touched on this. But would you have wanted it at Old Trafford when Rooney dived over your leg then?
Yeah, I think for me, it was a little bit like, what's the game against Tottenham versus Liverpool against Tottenham, and Van Dijk with what's his name, Malella, what's his name? Tottenham player. Lamela. Yeah. So he was diving. People say, he scraped his back. He was diving already because you could see Van Dijk pulled his leg back. Yeah. Pulled his whole leg back, and obviously his knee's there, and it's gone, and he's slightly on his back, and he's giving it some. So for me, people say, you can see he's trying to pull his leg out. If he's left his leg out there and he's gone over, penalty all day long. You can see he's rolling his leg back, and he doesn't touch him only because he can't shorten his knee back. The guy's already anticipating he's going to get kicked.
But the problem I've got, Sol, with this is it's about opinions, isn't it? Because every Liverpool fan thinks he's dived and every Tottenham fan thinks he hasn't. As again with Harry Kane with the first penalty.
No. Yeah.
So for me, that's a dive.
But he's diving already. But as I said before, I think, yes, there's their opinion. I understand that. With my one, it was proper air shot where I'm a matador and I've kind of took my leg back like a red cloak, and he just went over. And I think back in those days, referees probably said, he wouldn't dive, he's an Englishman. He wouldn't dive. Penalty.
That is so true.
He wouldn't dive. And when you do it, it's like, he's an air shot. I don't even touch him.
I know, but then he's at Old Trafford as well, so that makes another difference. But my point
But then I think it got picked up now. I think that one would have easily got picked up 10 years later, for sure.
But with regards to what the diving and the VAR, what do you feel about Dele Alli then? Because it's just blatant diving so much. I mean, I'm not just saying this because we're Arsenal. I would say this about any player.
Well, about England in the World Cup, he could cost us in the World Cup.
I mean,
I think in the World Cup and European Cups, I think they're going to be on it. And if it's too blatant, I think they're not going to give us any quarter. So I think for me, you should be good enough to kind of, for me, like if you outwit a player and he leaves his leg there, and you're saying, look, it's a 0-0, I'm going to use it. Look, it's a tight game. We need to get through. I'm just going to go over his leg. And I get that. If the guy, reels back his leg and then you dive, then I think you've got to be punished. There is a skill of that is a bit of skill. You've kind of got the guy in and you've turned him, or you've done a trick and you've gone past him. His leg's there. I'm not going to jump over your leg because for me, I could, it's not even worth me jumping over your leg because you're just there. I've tricked you. But if it's the other way around, that it's proper air shots where people are just diving, then I think you've got to be reprimanded, and I think it will stop people doing that. I don't think you've got to stop everybody. Everyone's got to try it on and see if they can con the referee.
Amazing stuff from Arsenal Invincible legend Sol Campbell here on Highbury Heels on playing career and politics and all sorts of stuff. Let's switch gears before we get you to the quick fire round and then let you go have a cup of tea, Sol. Management. There's a lot of players that go into management. A lot of players go into punditry. If you had the chance to manage Arsenal, and you had to pick an ex-teammate to be your assistant, who would it be?
It would be... it would be Dan Bronckhorst.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Explain. What is
I think
it
Van
about?
Bronckhorst Van Bronckhorst, I know he's a manager. If he's a manager, it's fine. He would never come unless he's a manager. But I think sometimes you gotta pick people who can balance you out as well. You know, you need that. I think you need balance out. You don't need, too much power in the room, but you need the right power in the room. You know, you need the right kind of person who will give you a different point of view. And I think he will bring a different point of view.
So that's who you'd have if you were going to get to manage Arsenal. I recently read that you went for the managerial job at Oxford United. Is it true that you did, and what's happening with it?
Yeah, I did. Well, I did go, and they didn't accept me. It's maybe like, experience and things like that, blah, 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 but it's like a full circle. Experience. How do I get experience? Yes, well, I need a job to get experience.
Exactly.
And I don't want to go too low that it's a struggle, and I don't want to go too low that I'm under someone. I'm thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I'd rather be managing the club myself. If I'm really this low, then God, I'm competent. It's not like it's rocket science to run a football club. Especially when you get to that level. And if you're intelligent enough and you're a quick learner, you'll work out pretty soon, within 2-3 games, what you need or what the team needs, training-wise, to actually survive in that league, to get better in that league, to get in the playoffs, or even win the league.
Yeah.
I'm intelligent enough. I'm not like I've just played on a dog and fox and dog pitch playing football all my life. It's like I can't believe some people. I'm one of the greatest minds in football.
Yeah.
And I'm being wasted because of lack of experience, or maybe he talks his mind too much, or whatever. I mean, go to Germany. They want people who speak their minds.
Yeah,
that's the people who got the jobs.
Yeah, they do, and that's why they produce managers like Klopp, and that's because they do.
And then you have the balance between your expertise and you got character, but also you can balance yourself as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I've got a mind and I can talk to you, but don't be scared of that.
No.
That should be something you want at your club, but obviously not.
Yeah. So they're thinking of bringing in the Rooney Rule that they have in America, and which allowed ethnic minorities more chances to at least be interviewed. Do you think that would help you in your career to be a manager over here?
I think the key to all this is the FA.
All right.
They are the key. They can bring this house down if they want to. If they open up and allow from top level downwards, from physios to doctors to all runners, the PR people, at the first team, not just based at Wembley, but in the main arena, going away, on the bench, seeing different people on the bench, not just player-wise, but doctor, physio, things like that. You have 90,000 people. I'm telling you now, within 2-3 years, you'll see everything change. They are the key. I said this 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. They are the key. If they do not change, this country will not change.
So, Sol, why isn't it changing? Is it because of the people that you're talking about who are too afraid to change it from within, speak out? How does that change happen?
Well, you got Heather Abachi resigned and things like that. It's countless things. I don't need to even go through these things anymore. It's exposure, the system, how it's structured. I can't. It's the evidence is there to see why it's so slow to change. So, and for me, for me, what hurt me is like when I kind of mentioned about these things, I got lambasted, massive, nuked, big time. He ain't coming out of there again. But then over time, things started to, crack a bit, and then they got wider, and people got exposed, and people questioned, and the government got involved, slapped down in Parliament, things like that. What are you doing? And no one comes back to me anymore, because Sol said that 5 years ago. Mm. But they don't come back and say, Sol, you fancy coming in? no one, because I was the first one to actually say there's a problem. It's been a nightmare. So that's why sometimes I don't even say anything anymore, because I don't want to rub anyone up the wrong way again. But now it's now the authorities to take over and change. It's their time now to start changing, and I don't know how slow this wheel is gonna go. I don't know if the wheel's in motion, if it's in full motion, or they still need to put petrol in there and put the keys in. I don't know.
So then, with all these landmines in your way and these challenges, where next for you then with your managerial career? For me,
I'm going to just keep plugging away, and when I get some of that bit of free time, I'm starting to learn a language. I'm going to look at it, try to speak Italian. It's quite hard when you're in London to speak Italian, but I'm already focusing. I'm doing some more courses now. I'm going to the leagues award, the LMA in March. That's good. It's a week kind of course, so that could give you a bit of leadership and a bit of high performance. So I've put my name down for that in March. I'm going to be seen. I'm speaking to Edu, and hopefully I'm going to get to go over to Germany and watch Germany versus Brazil, and 2 days watch Brazil training. I'm trying to organise that. I'm watching, going to Europe and watching different teams. I've been to Milan, been to Sampdoria a couple of times to watch how they train and play. I'm doing that, around Europe. I'm trying, I went over to watch Patrick at New York as well, training and games. And so, I'm trying. I'm watching, League One games. Went to Portsmouth the other day. I watched Fulham and Brentford. So, I'm trying to, be seen and get out there and, but it's unless
tough.
Someone gets a chance, say, look, I'm going to give you a chance. What can you do? I can watch, training all day long and say I've been to 50 games, but unless someone says I'll give you a chance, I can go to 1,000 games.
All right, so you've given us so much, so now we're going to let you chill out a little bit and have some fun. We'll get you out on our quick fire round. Okay, Sol, when you hear the cowbell, the quick fire round starts, and then it will end when you hear the sound of the cowbell once again. Right, we'll promise we'll be gentle, but I think you could take it. Here we go.
So, Sol, be Mayor of London or Arsenal manager?
Arsenal manager.
Oh, nice. Chicken, rice and peas or roast beef and Yorkshire pudding?
Hard food all day long. Chicken, rice and peas.
My man.
I want some dumplings in there as well, though. And some green banana.
I'm telling you.
Come on. And some pumpkin as well.
And some yam and banana. Okay, then.
Green banana.
Damn straight. Horror film or comedy?
Comedy.
If you could pick a position to play, would you choose something else, or would you always have been a defender?
Centre midfield.
Ooh.
Most annoying opponent ever.
So sharp.
Annoying.
Ole Gunnar, that's
so
what I was about to say.
Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy. God.
Okay, last concert you went to?
The last one I went to, I can't remember. Oh, Adele.
Win the Ballon d'Or or have a Champions League medal?
Champions League medal.
We wish you had one too.
Yes, we do.
I know. Missing me chances.
Okay, Netflix and chill or go to the cinema?
It's some good stuff on Netflix now. Cinema, if you've got a big enough TV, yeah, Netflix.
Okay, have a pint with Spurs fans or Arsenal fans?
Oh, Arsenal fans, God. Yeah.
Jay-Z or Kanye?
Jay-Z.
All right, the original Ronaldo or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Original Ronaldo all day long.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I'm a bit like that. Dinner with Trump or Hillary?
Hillary.
Music from the 80s or 90s?
80s, yeah. Well, even got the 70s. You got Lovers Rock. Yeah, 80s. 90s a bit poppy for me.
Yeah, not as quality. Who are you saving in a fire, Martin Keown or Ashley Cole?
Oh God, both of them. I'm strong.
Good one. Giorgio Armani.
One of each arm. One of each arm.
Oh, nice.
I can picture you now. That's hilarious. Giorgio Armani suit or a Tom Ford suit?
Trouble is, Tom Ford, he's in the same building. He doesn't design anything for big guys. So I've got to go Giorgio Armani.
Nice.
From skinny guys from Italy or Japan.
Get your stuff together, Tom. Listen to what Sol's saying. Right, you're having a dinner party. You can invite 3 people, dead or alive. Who gets an invitation from you?
Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, and could I say Jesus?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to be at that dinner party.
Me
What about
too.
you, Sophia?
Oh, I definitely would like to be there. I'm sure we'd have lots to talk about. But sadly, that cowbell from our dearest Sophie means it is the end of our interview with Sol. And you have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. You're an Arsenal legend. And, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Podcast for the future.
Oh, and I hope you come back in the future.
Yeah. Well, back in the future, I don't know.
We were nice, Sol. We were nice. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Invincible.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, that was Sol Campbell. He was, needless to say, had so much to say. So many great things in there. I love that. There's no love lost for our neighbours down the road, is there?
Noisy Neighbours 2.0, you know where you can go.
Oh, I like that.
Well, he'd rather have a pint with Arsenal fans
That's
than Tottenham
right.
fans. I think that says it all.
Quite right, too. So we're going to move on from Sol. We're going to talk a little bit. We've got predictions for the Carabao Cup final coming up. But first of all, just this morning, Arsenal announced that we'd signed an Emirates deal to increase our sponsorship to 2023 to 24. It's understood that the deal's worth more than £200 million, and so they'll keep sponsoring us and the stadium until 2028. So it's still going to be the Emirates, even though I wish we'd have given it the new Highbury or something like that. But we're stuck with the Emirates. What do you girls think about it, Amanda?
I think it's one of the best deals we've probably ever had, to be honest. And we get it till, is it 2028?
Yeah, 2028.
2028. Well done, Arsenal, finally, for getting a decent deal, because I think this is very good for us. We need stability.
Seema might finally be 40 in 2028.
I might not even be alive.
Amanda, shut up.
I'll still be going on about 89 when I'm 89.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh,
She had to get it in.
She can't
get it in.
You just can't help yourself, can you? I mean, really. Anyway.
I thought it was interesting when Gazidis said it'll give us more money to buy play in the, blah, blah, blah. Like his
Do
quote.
we even believe that, though?
Yeah, I could do without that quote. Other than that, it's great for the club. Well done. Good stuff.
Because they say, they always, wasn't the whole point of moving to the Emirates was so we could have more money to buy players, and that never materialised, so I can't see how this is going to be any different. But, with things seemingly changing in the back room, etc., maybe this time he actually means it. We'll see. But anyway.
Listen to her sounding hopeful over there in South London.
You know I'm negative. I'm negative, Nelly. I never think positive about anything we do.
We love that about you, though. We love that about you. We've got to balance, Amanda and Seema with a little bit of,
negativity.
It's a little bit hard, though, isn't it? So when he says they're going to have more money when he did the Catalyst for Change rubbish last season. So I'm very negative and positive of Arsenal. I say it as I see it. So I take a lot of what they say with a pinch of salt, and we all need to.
I think we all do. But speaking of me being negative, let's talk about the Carabao Cup final.
You negative ever?
Have a little guess as to what I think's going to happen on Sunday.
I'll give you one guess, right, lasses? Come on, Chuck.
So, oh God, I am absolutely dreading it. I'm not even going to lie. I'm absolutely dreading it. My heart says win. My head says loss. But this season, I just don't know which Arsenal's going to turn up. That's what, and the fact that we're not at home, we're away, even though it's Wembley and we have good results at Wembley, I still don't know. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I think we're going to lose. I think it'll be a narrow loss. Thanks, Seema. I think it'll be a narrow loss. 2-1. But I hope I'm wrong. Seema, do you think?
I actually think we're going to win.
Yeah, but you always do.
Oh, Seema. Live in the real world, for God's sake.
That's my girl.
You know what? No, I agree with you, Sophia. Like, I also don't know which Arsenal is going to show up. But at the end of the day, I do think when we have these games, we do end up showing up, like we did last season against Chelsea as well. So, and I'm going to be there. So I might be
all
the
right,
big
love. What score do you think it's going to be?
I will say 2-1 for Arsenal.
Okay. Amanda?
Opposite way.
Well, you see now, you need about 20 minutes for me to discuss this one.
We don't have 20 minutes.
I know.
Okay, no, you don't have time.
20 seconds.
Such a princess.
I
Someone grab her tiara.
Sorry, it slipped slightly. I've just put it
What
back.
do you mean slightly?
Just slightly, right. This is two sides to this. Reality, 4-0 we're going to lose. But I'm telling you, if Arsenal turn up and it's their day, we could win it. It would be so Arsenal to be the best team in the bloody country.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got the worst defence we've
true.
ever known. But if you want my actual prediction, we're not going to win, okay?
Right.
But I do have that slight Amanda Arsenal for the rest of it.
She's going for 20 minutes. She's going for 20 minutes. She's going for 20 minutes.
I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to say. There's always hope.
Can we just have your score,
club.
Please? Thank
no,
you.
I can't.
Today,
but our stupid
Princess
club could
Gooner,
turn
Amanda.
up. Our stupid club could turn up and win it. That's what I'm saying. But
okay, so what is it?
Oh, I think we're going to lose 4-0.
Jesus, that's worse than me.
Yeah, I know, but I just think that, honestly, Sophia, we're either going to win it or lose 4-0. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I cannot see it being any different.
Right,
if they get an early goal, we're finished.
Yeah, that's true.
But this could come back to haunt me.
And if it rains, and if, and then if the flowers are blooming, it will be 5-1. And if it dries and everything's stuck in traffic, it's going to be 2-2.
You know exactly what I mean, Sophie. If we turn up and they don't, we could win it. That's all I'm saying. I'm covering my flipping arse here.
Yeah, you are. Left, right and centre,
It's big enough to cover.
God.
She's shut up now, Sophie. Go for it. While you can.
Okay, so last year, do you remember when we were heading into the semi-final and the final of the FA Cup? Who gave us a chance?
Not me.
Nobody.
No,
Nobody.
Right? We all thought we were going to get caned and we wouldn't even get to the final. And then we beat probably two of the best teams in the country. Now, granted, Manchester City are a very different side this year.
Yeah.
Okay. And how, Seema, you can only see us conceding one goal against them. That would be a miracle.
Yeah,
that would be
agreed.
an absolute miracle, right? We need Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang. Oh, no, wait, who's cup tied in this? No one, because it's the final, right?
No one.
Mkhitaryan's cup tied, isn't he?
Mkhitaryan can't play.
Yeah,
Aubameyang can play.
Right. Okay. So here's the key to the game, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. We need Rambo. Rambo is
He's a cup final player.
He's a
definitely.
cup final player. He shows up, all right, and he bosses it. We've got every chance, okay? Because City is still vulnerable at the back, but they've got a better goalkeeper this year. Ederson is brilliant. Good luck beating him. I don't think we're going to get embarrassed because I think we're going to want to follow up that Spurs North London derby performance at Wembley with a better performance. I think the players are going to take a good look at themselves in the mirror. So I fancy a 3-2 after extra time.
Okay. Well,
Woohoo!
I hope you're right. I hope you and Seema are right, and I hope me and Amanda are wrong. So that's what the girls think. Now we're interested in what you guys out there listening to us think. So if you want to give us feedback, ask us any questions, or even give us a review, where can they do it, Seema?
If you're on Twitter, it's Highbury Heels. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's Highbury and Heels.
Thank you so much, Seema. And that is it for another week on the pod. Let's hope this time next week we're talking about a glorious victory in the Carabao Cup final. But whether we win or whether we lose, what are we, Amanda?
We are always Arsenal.
Hey, I'm Jules Breach.
Hi, I'm Adrian Childs.
Hi, I'm Jason Candy.
Hi, my name's Lee Dixon.
I'm Alan Smith.
Hi, I'm Ryan Giggs.
Hello, I'm Matt Lucas.
Hi, I'm Andrew from Arseblog.
I'm Gary Lineker, and you're listening to Highbury and Heels.